wait. So I want to run something by you about that happened while I was in New York, and you can tell me if I was in the wrong.
Okay.
So basically, I landed in New York. The girl whose apartment I'm staying in, her best friend is gay. She's not around, so he comes to drop off the key to me, and we become friends. Whatever.
Friends, whatever.
No. We become friends.
Right.
I'll be honest. He was a little bit sassy for me, but at the same time, he was being nice to me. So
Yeah. The sassy people are always okay if you're on their good side.
yeah, if you're not on the receiving end of it, which I'm sure a lot of people would say about me. So he comes to one of my shows. I thought that was really sweet of him. And then we're all going out to this party, and me and him meet for pre-drinks. He goes, "Oh, I've invited my Hinge date." I said, "Show me."
That's so odd.
What, to this? What, that he invited his Hinge date to this party?
Yeah, I wouldn't invite a first date
No, I
to
wouldn't.
a party.
I wouldn't either.
I would want it to be a one-on-one situation.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's getting past the point.
That is by the by, which he's not.
Right. Okay. It took me a second to get that. I was by the by. Bye.
Bipolar, maybe, not bisexual.
Okay.
So we're at this event in this club, and I get bored because all of these, I'm going to call them kids, they're 25, 26.
Right.
They're sitting around waiting for the bottle to arrive. I'm at the bar paying for my $25 drinks like a grown-up.
You're like an adult, putting your card behind the bar.
But, at the same time, I don't really want to spend more than $100 on 4 drinks.
Right.
So I decide I'm going to go.
Some of that free.
Yeah.
Free bar.
Not even that. It's just $25 for one drink. It's extortionate.
Yeah.
So I go out to the terrace. I think, let me just blast my vape a few times and I'm going to leave.
Wait, what, like a weed pen?
No, it was just a normal, just a normal vape.
Lost Mary.
Just a Lost Mary.
Go out, imagine someone going out onto the terrace and just seeing you being like
No.
onto like a little like elf bar.
But when you're just like, do I want to stay? It was more of like a
Deliberating.
Yeah, like stare off into the Manhattan skyline. Do I want to
Plumes of
stay?
vape.
Yeah. And as I go outside, this is super random. This girl comes up to me. She goes, "Oh my God, you are so beautiful." I'm like, what's the intention here?
Yeah, I always get immediately suspicious when people do that. I don't know if it's because we're from London.
But she's talking to him. She's talking to the guy's date.
Oh,
So then the
she
guys-
wasn't talking to you.
No, she was talking to me but with that compliment, but she was in conversation with the guy's
Oh,
date.
okay. I thought she'd been like, "You are so beautiful," and you turned around,
I
like,
do-
"Thank you," and it turned out she was talking to this date, and you were like, "Oh, okay."
No, she was definitely talking to the one of us that wasn't wearing the neon green brat nail polish.
Right. Okay.
So I say to him, "Look, I'm going to go because I'm bored." He then also wants to leave because he's bored. So then we start having to have this discussion. Is it going to look weird if we leave together?
You and the friend or the date?
Me and the date.
Right.
The friend is still inside.
Oh, okay.
So it's now like, oh, is it going to look weird when we walk past them if we leave together? We're debating this for a few minutes, and I'm like, do you know what? Fuck it. We're not doing anything wrong. You want pizza and I want to smoke weed, and we've agreed that we're gonna smoke weed and then eat pizza, which is the logical answer to that predicament.
Yeah.
We go to walk in, they're gone.
Oh.
They're fully gone. So I'm like, oh, y'all...
As in they've left the venue or they're all off their nuts?
No, they've left.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, oh, well,
Problem solved.
y'all did
Yeah.
not give a fuck about me, so let's keep that moving. We leave, get pizza, go. We sit on his stoop for like half an hour, which is very New York.
Sit on a stoop.
It's so New York.
I didn't do it in New York this summer, but I will sit on a stoop someday.
You should. And then I get up to go, and he is like, "Oh, you're so handsome," and kisses me.
Ooh.
So then the friend, is messaging me the next day or maybe the day after, and he asks, "Oh, what happened with the date?"
Yeah.
I fully tell him the story. I said he wanted to get...
So just honest.
100%. What do I have to lie about? The way I see it, I wasn't in the wrong. We left together on innocent terms. You had already ditched me. Also, while we was in the club, I said to him, "How's it going with your date?" And he goes, "No, he's giving me the ick. I'm not interested."
Oh, okay. Well then.
Right.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think also the bit that makes it kind of worse is that when he showed me the picture of the date initially, what I said was, Oh, he's a bit of all right. Better keep him away from me.
Well, you gave him fair warning.
I gave you a warning.
You only lived up to the promise that you'd made.
The promise I make, the promise.
Oh, rest in peace, Sarah Harding.
And he acted like he was okay, but after that, the dynamic changed.
I was going to say, was he feeling a type of way about it?
I think he was. He stopped, like, if I'd invite him out, he'd skate over the message, but then would still like my Instagram stories. And I just think, and in the end, I ended up messaging him, and I said, do you have an issue? Obviously, if you do, that's perfectly fine. I said, but let's just talk about it if you do.
Yeah.
No, babe, we're perfectly fine. That's so sweet of you to even think of me, blah, 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 all of that American bullshit. Never saw that boy ever again.
Really?
Oh, I saw him once when I was moving out of the flat, and that was it. And he let a door slam in my face.
Oh. Was that an accident, or did you just perceive it, or was it?
I had a suitcase, a backpack, and a big bag in my hand, and he walked out and let the door slam in my face. Yeah. And that was when I was kind of like, do you know what? Fuck you. So I went to the date's house and I got rimmed on his rooftop.
Well, that showed him. Rimmed on his rooftop. I love it. The idea of also is you getting your arse eaten on a rooftop, being like, yeah, fuck him, yeah.
Yeah.
That show it. Yeah, like literally like steaming while you're getting like fizzing about it.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, go on, chew on that.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not you.
Ow! That's so funny though, because I hate it. Like, I really like that you immediately told him what went down. Because I think some people would be like, oh, well, obviously he went on a date, but there might be weird vibes if I tell him that I got off with the guy that he abandoned at the club with me. Whereas you were just like, well, yeah, we
that's
got
not
off
my
with each other.
problem.
But that's the thing. You were completely honest, and then he obviously wasn't. And I really don't appreciate that in a person. Like, I think if you do feel bothered about it, just get it out in the air. There's nothing I hate more than being in a room with someone that you know has got beef or like is feeling pissed off about something, but they won't admit to it. And they're like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Exactly. I remember Dylan, my mate that we've had on the pod before. He and I have only ever fallen out once in our lives, and it was over some nonsense of raising the bar in our old magazine. Like, I'd gone to Brighton and I hadn't written it, and he was like, you should have written it. And we had like an argument over text about it. And then when I got back from Brighton, I went into the office and he was sat there at his computer like absolutely like stush. And I was like, hi, you're right. And he was like, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. And I was like, right, nice to see you. Are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. I was like, okay, because you don't seem fine. And I sat there for like 10 minutes and then I just thought, I'm not fucking doing this. And I literally leant over and went, you're obviously still fucking pissed off, so let's just have it out now. And he always says like, I really appreciate that because he's not the kind of person that will do it. But I just can't exist in that kind of environment.
But also, I then just think, this boy was like 26, so like give them room for growth.
The date or the one that was pissed off?
No, the date was even younger. She was playing the cougar that night.
Bloody hell, Brett Summer. Is that why you were wearing the green nail? the green.
That was him.
Oh my God. Okay, so young.
Yeah. Pratt Summer.
Twat Summer.
So wait, so do you think, like in that instance, do you think I broke boy code? Because I don't think I did consider him.
I don't think so, because he's not your friend. I mean, when I say not your friend, yeah, you met him and had a nice interaction with him, but you don't know him from a hole in the wall.
But that's why I think it's like, when people say girl code, it's not necessarily applicable to your girl. Is it just your girls or is it all girls?
This is the thing. I've never fully understood that. I think girl code, they always say things like,
I think it's your
she's
friends.
not a girl's girl, though.
Right.
And when you break girl code, like I've seen this in action before. I remember years ago going out with my mate Sam and two of the girls that worked with him at Vodka Revolutions in St. Anne's Court in Soho. And we'd all just Sam had just started working there and we met the two of them that evening when I went to have a drink after work. And we all went out, got a bit on it. And then one of Sam's friends came as well, like a guy. And both of the girls had a bit of an eye for him. And one of them got off with this guy and they were really going at it. And I think they went home together. And the girl that was left behind afterwards, was
furious.
Oh no, because the other one didn't go. She didn't leave with him yet. She'd kissed him. She went downstairs into the bathroom of the venue we were at, and the other girl was down there talking to these complete strangers, being like, "She's betrayed me." And the girl was like, the one that got off with the girl was like, "What? I don't know you." Like,
okay, so I definitely do think it's more of like a friendship thing. Let's talk about like the things that like that are quite obvious constitute girl code is you don't obviously like get with your girl or your well, let's talk about boy code, like girl boy code, whatever. You don't get with your friend's man.
Well, yeah, that's just like given. That's like any code. You like shouldn't be getting with someone's man. Yeah. You don't get with an ex, particularly a recent.
You don't
one.
Get with a friend's ex.
Yeah, I would say that is probably.
I
big
agree.
One.
That's a big one. Also, you don't get with guys who your friend has a crush on.
Yeah, you don't get with a guy who was flirting with one of them previously and then started flirting with you at like a night out.
Yeah, I
think that's one of theirs, but I don't.
I feel like that's the same as the one before, though. That's like getting with somebody who had
I don't know, because I would imagine, like, the way I see a crush is like, oh, this guy I fancied for ages, you know, like someone that works at the same place they do and she fancies him and then the other one goes
Sure, yeah, if they met on the same night and he was talking to one girl first, if he like went from your friend to you, you would just be like, he's a douchebag.
Yeah, well, some people would do that, but other people would be like,
well, hello. I've got underwear on.
I have. Look, I'm wearing a skirt because we're talking about bros, but I kind of forgot that when I just did that leg. So I've upskirted myself by accident.
Fully on purpose.
Want to see more? Subscribe.
Hoping it's going to end up on like the Daily Star.
The Daily Star. Nobody flashes gooch. They got Daniela Westbrook for that.
I was just about to go rotted podcast host.
Rotted?
Bears minge.
We've been back for 2 episodes and you've already called me rotted. It's good to be back. I missed you.
So wait, have you ever had somebody break boy code on you, or have you ever broken it on someone? You've broken it on someone.
I've broken it on someone. So the same friend...
Why am I not surprised?
Look... So the friend that I was just talking about, Sam, I remember we used to live in Waterloo, like right by Heaven, like just across the bridge. So we would be there like every Saturday night. We'd go there every Friday. And one night there was this...
I love it how you say it as if every Saturday night isn't tragic, but every Friday night is.
Well, it's a Friday and Saturday.
It's a double whammy, babe. Tragic, whichever way you look at it. We'd
text each other and be like, I'll meet you by that fan in the pop room.
But we used to do that too. It was like a rite of passage growing up gay in London.
But I remember this one time we went, and we both went, this is when I used to smoke, so we were both out in the smoking area, and this really cute, and at the time I was going through this phase, because I was going through a twink phase, like I was very into twinks and like topping and things like that. And things like that.
All those things she doesn't do anymore.
All those things I've given up now. But we got talking to this like very, very cute sort of like French twink.
Oh,
and I remember...
Merci.
Merci.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir. Bonjour.
Bridgerton.
Okay.
Is that French?
No! It's the name of a late night soap.
Late night, baby's on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of Downton Abbey. That's what I was thinking of. Bridgerton. It's all the same.
Downton Abbey's definitely British.
It is, but Bridgerton's not French.
I don't know where I got that from.
Anyway,
isn't there a character called like Jean-Claude
Van Damme? I don't know. I've actually never watched it. I just know that girl from Derry Girls is on it. But anyway, and there's lots of wigs as well. But anyway. We met this French boy, and he was really cute, and we both get talking to him, and then Sam obviously took a shine to him, but then so did I, and then we go inside to the dance floor together, and Sam was like, oh, I'll go and get us all some drinks. So he goes off to the bar, and then while he's off at the bar, I just started getting off with this lad. So Sam came back like with these 3 drinks in his arms and was like, oh, and came over, shoved the drinks in our hands, and then pissed off. And I was like, well, you know what? She'll wear herself out. She's angry for now, but she'll sort herself out. Spent like most of the night with that boy, and obviously because do you remember having like you can't get good signal in there, or you couldn't, like you wouldn't be able to. So I was in there like getting off with him, and then I decided like a couple of hours later, let's go home, hook up together. I go outside, And as we leave the venue, my phone starts vibrating crazily. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I look at it and it's all these messages like on WhatsApp. And it's like...
Oh, you've got like message after message.
Yeah, and it's from Sam. And he's like, where are you? Are you with that boy?
I'm like, wait, was it the Costa Rican horse trainer?
His name is Sam. He was like, where are you? What's happening? And then he was like, and then it like, suddenly got really aggressive and it was like capital letters, cunt, where are you? And then the final message that I got just said, your couch is going to be brown tomorrow. And I was like, and then, because I don't know whether that was, because he was staying on my sofa and I was like, is that a threat that he's going to shit on my sofa? But anyway, we get outside, you know, that bit by Embankment. And I just see this like shadowy figure.
You come home and there's like a coiled out turd on your sofa. As if the sofa is
or just him going.
Yeah. As if the sofa's like Katie Price's stomach.
Oh, that's nasty, Katie.
So if you know, you know.
We got out and he was just stood there in a doorway, like, you know, like Sin City, like Marv or something, just stood there with a fag on the go, like.
Okay, yeah. I can fully picture it, yeah.
And then would not talk to me for the entire journey home. Like, and the three of us all had to walk home together in silence with this French lad. He was like, oh, I am so enjoying to be here in London. And it's such a nice time. That sounds more Italian, but anyway. Yeah. Sorry. And like I went home, had sex with him, and then the next morning the boy wakes up and he was like, I feel really bad. I'm going to do the accent again. He goes, I feel really bad. And I was like, oh no, did I hurt you? And he was like, no, I have a boy.
You're good.
He was like, no, I have a boyfriend. And then just got up and ran out of the house. And I was like, oh, okay.
You literally just ruined our whole friendship.
I know, instant karma as well. But I went downstairs. Sam had not browned my couch.
Okay, that's
but he
fair.
was still very pissed off about it. And then we had breakfast, and I think his blood sugar went up, and he cheered up as well.
Just off the back of that, that's so funny because something very similar happened to two friends of mine.
Really?
And that was the catalyst for the friendship ending.
Really?
Only because, and even talking about boy code, I was going to bring up, like, so one of the friends I'm still really good friends with.
Okay.
The other guy, it was a catalyst for me and this friend to really kind of stop talking to that guy. But on the topic of boy code, he was going to be the one that I would bring up because you would be in a club and he was that kind of person who, he wasn't, I won't say he was attractive, but his face was symmetrical.
That is such a begrudging compliment. You're like, I don't want to say he's attractive, but people did fancy him. Like,
no, he was
symmetrical.
His face was symmetrical.
Right.
That's what it was. You know, some people, and you're just like, they appeal to the masses.
As opposed to, you know, the ones like us where people have to sort of work to it. We're niche.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. It means you really appreciate my beauty.
Yeah, exactly. You've had to work to see it.
No, because he was also attractive but approachable, you know?
The symmetrical guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that was part of his appeal, I think, is that he was approachable.
Right.
I'm not approachable, I know that. So, anyway, he used to do things a lot of the time. He could have anyone he wanted in the club, realistically. And you'd be like, okay, I fancy that guy. And then he would end up getting with them.
So it was like a power play?
I don't know if he did it on purpose or if it was just unfortunate accidents.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. I think if you...
And there was one time where he hooked up with the guy who I fancied and had kind of been flirting with and dragged me back to their apartment to have like an after party that was just us three that then involved them like going under the covers occasionally. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
What? So you were just like sat in this room together all like listening to a Minimal House podcast or something.
And then they'd be
then
like,
occasionally
be right back.
they'd be like, ooh, we're going to play whack-a-mole for like I think though, if it's something like that, if it's a repeated pattern of someone being like, of someone saying, oh, I like that guy, and then that person being hooking up with them, I definitely think it's like they're trying to flex.
Yeah,
like 100%. It's like, I know that people fancy me because I'm symmetrical. So I'm going to show them that I can have them. It's like a dominance thing.
Right, and it makes sense because I was the popular one. I get it. Jealousy is the root of all evil.
It is. Hard relate.
Wait, so what versions of like boy code would you break now or would you not break now? Obviously, I would never hook up with a friend's. Would you hook up with a friend's ex?
Only in the circumstance that it had been a long, long period of time, like it was like ancient history, and they had sort of, I don't know if I'd say their blessing, but they obviously didn't care about it. Like if I had started, say that like a friend of mine had broken up with someone like 10 years ago, and the two of us started seeing each other, I might say, look, there's something happening with me and so-and-so. How do you feel? I'm not going to say that their opinion about it would necessarily be the deciding thing, but it would be something to think about. No, because like it could be that they're just a little bit too territorial over something that happened 10 years ago. And this person is someone that I'd never thought of in that way. And then for some reason, I'm like, actually, this is a really good connection. I want to explore it. And I'm not going to cut it off because of arbitrary feelings from like a decade ago.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if someone like broke up with someone a month ago and they tried it on with me, I'd be like, do you want to fuck off?
Yeah.
Like, are you taking a piss? You're my mate's ex? Like, no.
I was just scrolling through like what constitutes like girl code and stuff. One of the things very obvious, you know, as we've already said, don't get with your friend's ex. But then it says, don't get with your ex's friend.
No, that's too.
I'm like,
the tentacles are going too far. Then
I'm like, sorry, are you nuts? I would go out of my way to sleep with my ex's friend. I would sleep with his fucking dad just to piss him off.
Why is that? Just to piss him off? Like to do him over?
I mean, I don't know if you've clocked this yet, but I do tend to use sex as a weapon. You know, it's just like the punchline is then like,
punched me.
And I fucked him, you know? Like, and then I fucked him and that was how we made the story funny kind of thing. But also, yeah, he would like, I say he, I'm obviously thinking of a very specific one.
Yeah, clearly.
It obviously depends on what ex, but yeah, certain exes, I would fully go out of my way to piss people off. I love that kind of...
Okay, you like punitive damage, basically.
I just like a
full
circle moment.
Full circle moment?
A full circle moment, listen.
You fucked my friend, I fucked your friend, like...
No, but just like, you didn't treat me with respect. I'm going to disrespect you by sleeping with somebody that you really care about. And then maybe...
You're saying like you would sleep with your ex's friend.
That's what we're talking about.
I thought you meant the ex of a friend and then sleeping with their mate, because that's how I was relating it to like girl code or bro code. Because I was like, why would it bother anyone if you sleep like fuck?
No, the ex of a friend, that's what I get. I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
But the ex of a friend's friend... What was the rule?
The friend of an ex. The friend of an ex. You bamboozled me for a minute. I was like, what are we talking about?
Oh, the friend of an ex. Oh, yeah. That makes so much more sense. I was like, this is overreaching. How can you police you sleeping with your friend's ex's mate? No.
No,
it was that fireball.
Yeah, the podcast really ain't that deep. Yeah. We're not that kind of the podcast. We're just going to scratch the surface and move on, really. We've got 30 minutes, babe.
We can't be going into family trees.
Yeah, yeah.
23 and me.
Literally, so...
But yeah, shagging an ex's friend, though, is sort of a bit of like it's like a power move.
100%. And I definitely...
Like, I could have had him this whole time, and now we've broken up. I have.
Yeah. And also just like, yeah, then maybe I'll sit on a relatively popular podcast and compare your meat.
To a parsnip.
No, I meant to each other.
I love how literal I can be sometimes. It's like, to a parsnip.
Just as in like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't sleep with a friend's ex, mostly because none of my friends date attractive people.
Right. So it's kind of like you don't even need to worry about that.
Why would I want to?
Yeah.
Actually.
I'm guessing like sleeping with a friend's brother or sister or dad is like off limits. That's probably the one I'd struggle with. If someone's hot dad came on to me.
What if so just say if my dad was really hot, which is not. If my dad was really hot and he came on to you, you'd struggle with that.
Yeah.
I would die if you said my dad.
I would struggle with it because I'd be like, oh my God, like I said, this plays it, like I said in another episode, like this plays into my whole like forbidden, what's it?
I like the forbidden stuff
Yeah,
too.
but that's the thing. And I'd be like, oh God.
I blame the Bible.
Really hot. I read the Bible. Anthony's dad is really hot and he's obviously up for it. But if I do this, this is going to fuck everything up. But like you get that devil thought that's like, do you know how good that is? Like,
and then it'll be like next week's episode, it's just me and I'm like... So guys, it's just me here today. Never guess what happened.
My co-host.
my dad isn't hot, but James was on Adderall, so
she got locked on.
Do you think it depends on how close you are to the friend?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a best friend or any of my like close circle, then I take that stuff a lot more seriously.
100%.
If it's like a tertiary friend, like someone I don't see that often.
Met them 2 or 3 times. They come to one of your shows in New York. Like, who's that?
Well, yeah, well, like, you know, someone that you used to go to parties with like 5 years ago, 10 years ago that you run into every now and then. You're like, hi, babe.
No, we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, I would fuck your current boyfriend. Not even about the ex. Don't you worry about that.
Right, okay. So we know where we stand with that.
Well, listen, like, you got to draw the lines of friendship somewhere.
Yeah, and it apparently stands at fucking their boyfriends.
No, I mean, it sounds at like the longevity that you've known them and how close you are to them.
Yeah.
So
because I also then you have to think about like, is it to do with like whether I want to lose the relationship or not? So like, that would be the thing I'd factor in. Part of it is just like my moral compass, if I have one.
Your moral compass is like...
Yeah, mine's like someone's put a magnet on it. Yeah. But also it is like, is the person involved, the friend of mine, like important to me in that way? And if it's someone that is like very important, like, well, Sam, what is? But still fuck that twink. Then that would sort of help. That would help like influence my decision. But I don't know. I find like all of this like bro code, girl code thing a little bit, I don't know, like artificial. Like, what does it all mean anyway?
It just means having respect for people that are close to you. And I feel like if you're going to betray a friend who's close to you, then...
It better be with someone really hot.
No, I was just going to say, like, breaking girl code, like, it's a little deeper than that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not breaking girl code, it's a betrayal of a friendship rather than like, oh, you broke this thing that everyone made up, you know?
Yeah.
So...
Well, do you know what? On that note, we have to wrap up today's episode.
Yeah.
We got to get used to this.
Yeah, wrapping up fast.
No, you never wrap up. I just meant like... I meant like...
Talking about condoms?
I was in that joke, yeah.
Oh, okay. I got that.
Yeah. But no, we do have to finish.
Oh, okay.
Guys, thanks for joining us on another episode of whatever we chose to call this in the end.
Yeah.
If you want to follow us on social media, I'm at Gilet Slays.
And I'm at IamTomDop.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.